Hello, Bill Carroll of Zenny62 Sports Media. And this particular question, once again, comes from one of my followers and good friends, Hostin Carson Jr. And from him, I have a question dealing with how I see the AFC West, which should be one of the most fun and exciting anythings in all of pro football this year, but particularly because everybody got better, except perhaps the Chiefs, and people started sort of shoveling dirt on the Chiefs. For those who are preparing epitaphs for the Chiefs, I'm going to say slow your roll. First of all, let's just start with the fact that they have 12 draft picks in a very deep draft. They have pick number 29, which came from the 49ers by way of the Dolphins. And of course, they already had pick 30. Picks 50, 50 from the Dolphins, pick 62. Picks 94 and 103, picks 121, which came also from the Dolphins, and pick 135 in the Tyreek Hill deal. They have pick 233, which came from the Vikings, 243 from the Raiders by way of the Patriots, and then their own picks 251 and 259. Now, I don't think I'm telling anybody anything they don't know when I mentioned that this team is in a win now mode. Some of those picks will be packaged, put together to move up in certain rounds. They'll probably more like 7 or 8 selections instead of 12, and then some more of those picks will probably be in the first 3, 4, or 5 rounds. So they might end up with maybe no 7th rounders and a bunch of 4th and 5th rounders, or maybe 3rd through 5th round picks. That's one of the things you like about having the kind of draft capital. Now, to their roster. Well, as everyone remembers, obviously they made the Tyreek Hill deal, and then they lost for either the cap or free agency, Anthony Hitchens, who was I would say an above average linebacker. Melvin Ingram, right? Melvin Ingram, a part-time sort of designated pass rusher who I like. Marcus Kemp, wide receiver who was obviously mostly a special teams guy. Chris Lamons, another corner who's mostly a special teamer. Kyle Long, obviously the younger brother and son of 2 NFL players, and a good offensive guard, but not irreplaceable. Tyrann Mathieu is probably the player that most people would think of as the hardest to replace, but we're talking about, a guy who's not quite 30, so he's still, in his prime, and still a guy that gives you a lot of opportunity to do different things on defense. He will need to be replaced. Jerick McKinnon, to me, a very underrated running back. I think they will address the running back position at some point, but they obviously still have good depth. They have some running backs they like already on the roster. Ben Nyman, another outside backer from Iowa, and they'll be able to replace him. No offense. Dorian Daniels, another linebacker, mostly special teams player. Once again, not exactly irreplaceable. Alex Okafor, a defensive end / outside linebacker type, also very much replaceable in a draft like this. Mike Rimmers is another player that hurts them a little bit to lose, but still a player I think they can probably replace. And like I said, one of their running backs, another running back, Darrell Williams, has been allowed to move on once again in free agency. So, with the picks that I just rolled off there, all but maybe 1 or 2 of those players I feel very sure they'll be able to replace in the draft. For those who are running out there predicting that the Chiefs are over, the Chiefs are dead, and all that kind of stuff, once again, I cannot go far enough in saying I still feel like this is probably an 11 or 12 win team, and I think they'll still probably finish either first or second in the AFC West.